The baby cried through the night, and your body answered it whether you wanted to or not. You are engorged, sore, and you have not slept more than 2 hours together in 9 days. Your back aches from the pallet. The pallet is straw over packed earth, and the straw was changed 3 weeks ago, before the birth. It is already flattened. You feel every ridge of the floor beneath it. The infant is not yours to keep. You know this. You have always known this. It was explained to you before you were of age to fully understand it, and then explained again when you were. The child will be assessed at some point in the coming weeks. Weight, responsiveness, signs of defect. If it survives the assessment, it enters the ledger. It becomes an asset. You are the mechanism by which that asset was produced. You are also an asset. The two of you are listed differently, but the ledger holds both. You are what Roman estate records categorized as a serva, a female slave, selected for what the household calls fecunditas, fertility. You were not purchased for field labor or kitchen work. Though you have done both and will do both again, you were purchased or born into a household that understood your primary value before you did, because producing slave children is cheaper for a large estate than purchasing adults from outside. You are the inside solution to an outside cost. Your owner is not present on this estate. He has a house in the city. He visits seasonally. The person who manages your daily existence is the villicus, the estate overseer, a slave himself, which does not make him gentler. Men who hold authority borrowed from someone above them often hold it more tightly than men who earned it. You have learned to read his moods across a courtyard. You have learned when to be visible and when not to be. Beneath you, in the hierarchy, are the field slaves. Men and women worked at heavier labor, fed at maintenance level, replaced when they break. You are fed slightly better than they are, which is the full extent of your privilege, and it is not generosity. It is livestock logic. A nursing woman who is not fed adequately produces less milk. Less milk means a weaker infant. A weaker infant is a loss on the ledger. The food is about the asset, not about you. Your morning begins before full light. The infant feeds first. That is the order, and it does not change. Then you eat a portion of pulse, the grain porridge that forms the base of nearly every meal on this estate, cooked down thick, sometimes with a small measure of olive oil, occasionally with dried beans. It is caloric. It is not varied. You have eaten some form of this for most of your life, and you no longer taste it. You eat because the body requires fuel, and the body's fuel is not your preference to manage. Water comes from the estate cistern. You carry your own jug. The walk is not far, but it is a walk you make several times a day, because nursing pulls moisture from you constantly, and thirst follows you like a creditor. Your formal workload during the nursing period is lighter than it will return to being. The villicus is not entirely unreasonable about this, again, because the calculation demands it. You do light textile work. Carding wool. Spinning. Tasks that can be done seated. Tasks that do not require sustained physical exertion. In 4 or 5 months, when the child is weaned or transferred to a wet nurse, if one is available, you will return to full rotation. Kitchen labor. Cleaning, whatever the household requires. You do not refuse assignments. Refusal has a cost that is immediate and physical, and the memory of it does not fade quickly. You have not refused an assignment in several years. You have learned to make your face a surface that reflects nothing useful back to the people watching it. The infant is quieter this morning. You notice this the way you notice everything now, with a part of your attention that never fully sleeps. A quiet infant is not always a healthy infant. You check the breathing. The breathing is steady. You allow yourself to set this down and return to the wool. You don't realize it yet, but the woman in the next room has begun coughing in a way that carries. Illness on an estate moves without asking permission. It follows the water supply, the shared sleeping quarters, the proximity of bodies in enclosed spaces through winter. It is early winter now. The air inside the quarters is closed and stale. There is no mechanism for moving it through. You wear your full clothing to sleep, a basic tunic, your cloak over that, and still the cold finds the gaps. The infant sleeps against your body, because your body is the warmest surface available, and warmth is survival arithmetic for a newborn. The woman coughing is named something you were told once and have not been asked to use since. Names on large estates are functional. You use the ones the overseer uses. You do not form attachments that require the other person's name. This is not coldness. It is management. You have watched children transferred to other households. You have watched people sold when the owner needed liquidity. You have watched illness take 3 people in a single season. Attachment has a price, and the price is paid entirely by the one who attached. You stopped paying it some years ago. By midwinter, the coughing has spread to 4 women in the quarters. The estate does not call a physician. Physicians are expensive and are called for the owner's family or for high-value skilled slaves, the estate accountant, the head cook, the craftsman whose skills took years to develop. For the general population of the quarters, the response is rest if the work allows it, and a mixture of vinegar, honey, and whatever dried herbs the kitchen keeps, administered without particular confidence in the outcome. You do not get sick this season. You are not certain why. You drink more water than the others. You stay away from the woman who coughs most heavily. These are small calculations, not knowledge. You are operating on pattern and instinct and a particular vigilance of someone who understands that their body is not entirely their own to risk. The infant develops a rattling breath in the 3rd month. You sit with it through 2 nights without sleeping. The rattling eases by the 3rd morning. You eat your porridge and return to the wool and say nothing to anyone about the 2 nights. There is no one to tell. There is no response the telling would produce that you need. Women in your position on large Roman estates carried a mortality profile shaped by childbirth more than anything else. Fever following delivery was common and frequently fatal. The 2nd or 3rd birth carried more risk than the 1st, not less. If you survived your childbearing years, you might transition into household work that was less physically consuming, tending older children, kitchen supervision, textile coordination. Might. The transition was not guaranteed. It depended on your continued usefulness and the estate's continued stability, neither of which was in your control. The average lifespan for a slave woman in agricultural Italy during the late Republic and early Imperial period was short by any later standard. 35 was not young in this context. 40 was not common. You are aware of this in the loose way that people are aware of things they cannot alter. Spring arrives. The infant is transferred to a shared nursery with 3 other children of similar age, tended by an older woman whose field labor days are behind her. You watch the transfer without visible reaction. The villicus notes your return to full rotation in whatever record he keeps. By the end of the week, you are back in the kitchen rotation. Early mornings, heavy loads, heat from the cooking fires that is exhausting in a different way than the cold was exhausting. Your body adjusts. It has adjusted before. The body is very good at adjusting to what is required of it. This is not resilience in the honorable sense. It is function. The body functions because it must, and you direct it because the alternative has no future in it. You, your work. You eat what is provided. You sleep when you are permitted. You watch the overseer's face from across the courtyard each morning, and you calibrate accordingly. Somewhere in the city, the estate owner reviews his accounts. The child you carried is a line in a column. You are a different line in a different column. Both columns represent value to be managed and maintained until management is no longer cost-effective. The year turns. The work continues. In this system, endurance is not a choice you made. It is the shape that survival took when everything else was removed.